Hey, what's up everybody? It's KyFy. I'm glad you could be back if you were here before. And if you are new here, welcome. This is a KyFy theory and this is the Zin-Finity Board. And this is the beauty, one of a kind, and it is going to change the face of Tarot as you know it. It's going to be the best thing you ever seen in the next 100 years. Mark my words. So what is the Zin-Finity Board? So the Zin-Finity Board is an elementally energetic grid that flows in a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind, as you can see here, all of these points, in a still life fashion. Anything that you can possibly think of is here. So it's up to us to make it clear. So what does all of that mean? Basically, anything you can possibly think of fit in this bubble that you see here. And I'll explain why in a little bit. But just a little rundown of what it is. You have many questions and you have many answers and you have many things at your disposal that are in your mind, and this structures it all so you can actually see it ethereally. So let's go with it. First is who, which is in the soul right here. Who, what is in the world of manifestation, which is the body, right? When is in the world of formation, which is the mind. Where is in the world of creation, which is the spirit, and why is actually outside of the circle. So every reason why comes from the source, which is you or God. You in this matter, what you've been through, and God, the reason why you come here. So this is what this board is about. You're going to be able to see everything you know, and it's going to be structured in a way you can use it. So my job is to give you different perspective, and let's get with it. So I have a few messages, and it's going to be a doozy. Why? Because this has to do with the powerlessness of it all. If you are feeling a sense of powerlessness, this is the reading for you, because I'm going to expose your power. And the reason why you can't see is because the enemy shrouds it. Why do they shroud it? Because it's powerful. If you knew it, you can get away from the enemy. It's as simple as that, but the way it's lined up, sometimes you will never see it. So the name of this reading, or basically the main message in this reading, is the pinball partner that leaves you powerless, right? What is that all about? Have you ever played the game of pinball? You shoot the ball and then you try to keep it on the board for as long as you can, and then you get a score. Everybody comes, has their turn, use the ball, play the game, get a higher score, and then eventually they finish the game. You know, you can only hold out for so long before the game is over. You can only go so far because your skill can only take you so far, right? And then the game is over, you get another high score. So people whack up and they got a laundry list of high scores. Now, any new person that comes into the mix has to not only get the highest score in order to get acknowledgement out of the situation, but you got to go above and beyond for some reason. But this is the part where it feels like it's powerless. How can you feel as a light being that you are doing these things? You know, like that's kind of the ambition, because you are a light being. You do these things because you want a sense of balance, right? So the next message was the light balances the situation. So anything that leaves you in a sense of dark, right? In a way where you need to kind of go within your own intuition and see yourself through the situation, right? Your light power balances it. So if somebody comes at you with something that's dark, negative, or something like that, you are a type of person that will even the flow. So on the board, this is the dark right here, the spirit energy. For the sake of for what it is, it's the feminine, the dark, divine masculine, or divine feminine energy, right? So that's over here. Divine masculine is over here. So basically this is consciousness and spirit. So that's what that is. So there's a spiritual attack, right? And it pushes all your energy over here. So you have to balance the situation, or at least within yourself. So Not that it was your fault that you're all the way into a place where you have to distance yourself, but now you have to take more effort to get to an alignment of any kind of sort. But if you do too much, you're going to end up all in your thoughts. So this is where the axis and the grid and the up and down, left, right comes into play, and I can tell you where the energy is off. So the last part of the message is basically there's no end to the game. Pinball has no end. It just keeps going for as long as you can keep it up. You know, it just keeps going and keep going. There's new challenges every time. There's no sense of rest, right? So yeah, I got so many analogies, right? You get to a point where your focus is aligned to this one thing. Now, I know I've been talking about people so far. Now, understand that this is a noun, anything, person, place, or thing. A thing that you have an attachment to, a place that you have an attachment to, or a person you have an attachment to, a thought process you have an attachment to. It comes from everywhere, right? But it's all an attachment. So without further ado, basically I'm gonna get these cards down right about now. Alright, so as I said before, the Zin-Finity Board is elementally energetic. So we're gonna get that out the way real quick by going down the line of what we're going to be talking about. So basically this is the story of the reading, and it goes as follows. First up, we have at 0 is represented by the tower, which is the throat chakra, right? 0 is da'at, right? 0, beginning and the end. And that is death in the beginning, birth and death. Same thing, same difference, that's why it's here. And this is represented by the tower. The tower is a fire card. So this is the fire chakra, this is the sacral chakra. Sorry, this is the solar plexus, and this is the heart chakra. So fire, air, it can be one of these, so we're good here. And that's where it starts. So everything that you know, which is in this area, is about the tower. So what does that mean? We're going to get to it. So I know, right? Next is I be. Your being, your essential being is grounded in earth with the 3 of Pentacles. So this is what crowns the reading. This is what my focus will be, right? This is what your focus is, and this is who you will be at the beginning and the end of every day, right? Next up is I want with the Hierophant. So imagine this as an energy or the alignment. Okay, you have energy for the path and the path itself. So the Hierophant represents the path itself right now, and that's Hokmah, the light. After the crown, there's the third eye, and these two represents the third eye. Even though you can see the yin yang in here forming out, the third eye is represented right here because it's a down triangle, up triangle. It's a lot that goes into it. But yeah. So that's represented by the Hierophant right now. That's what you want, right? What you need out of the situation is represented by the sun, and this is off. Now, the sun is usually represented as a good card, so we're going to figure out why that's off. So this is what you need, what powers your manifestation, right? After that, you have your will, right? I will, which is the King of Wands, which is good energy to have in this area. We're good in a lot of places. The only place so far that's off is what you need, right? So if you can resonate with that, like the video, if you like this content, or if you can get familiar with it, if you want to share it with one of your favorite readers, eventually this will be for them because it's going to be an app, right? An app for everybody in the spiritual community. There's so many things that I want to put into this app. There's so many ideas that I have. So with your help, I can get there quicker and it get to your phone quicker. So that's that. But the will and the King of the Wands, right? And that's good energy to have. Next up is I desire. Now, I desire is the High Priestess. High Priestess is water energy. The reason why these two are good here is because fire and earth, it can be one of those. Air and water, and it can be one of those, right? So we're good here. We're good on your will. Not many people stop you from doing what you need to do. So what is the issue? So far, the only issue is what you need. And this is spiritual. You need a spiritual connection to what? What your imagination is actually telling you. What you see coming. what you see in your future, what you've been through, what can happen. These are the possibilities that you struggle with. So you need a spiritual connection to make almost like a judgment. You have to be able to judge a situation. Once you judge a situation, then you can move on the information that you have. The judgment, it's something that you can hold. It's something steady. I've decided that this is what this is, and I can use that, right? Next up is the heart chakra, and this is represented by the hermit. So the hermit is earth energy, and this is offsuit, right? So even though that the hermit is connected to the heart chakra as well as your will, this is a place where you don't have the space to get what you need, right? You don't have the space to get what you need. So if these answers are resonating with you, then you can start understanding the beauty of this board, right? The reason why I want everybody to know what this is. Imagine your favorite reader on this. I can imagine my favorite reader on this. I would lose my mind. Right? I would lose my mind. That is the hermit energy. This is earth in a place where you need space. So it's blocked by something that either you possess or whatever possesses you. So let me say that again. It's blocked by something that you possess already because it's something that you need to work through, or it's something that's possessing you. It's something that you can't get out of. So those are the two instances when it comes up to your space. And this is the heart chakra. Mani Pura, I think it's called, right? Mani, money, right? Money, time is money. Your time is your money. So if you don't have the money to do what you need with your time, you got to work for it. So all of these things works kind of like a trinity: time, money, and space. And what is space? Let me just define it really quickly. What is space, right? Your ability, even though you can do whatever you want, right? Nobody stops you. Do you have a place to do it? Do you have a place to will this into existence? It has no place, right? So this is the issue. Whatever you want and need has no place in your life right now. So you have to make that place. I know that's very specific, but yeah. Moving on, we have the solar plexus, which is I do, I act, right? Now this is onsuit. So we're good here, and this is Six of Wands, and you can understand the confidence. You can understand the confidence that when you find it, it's like you've been searching for a long time for the answer, but when you find it, it's over. And you already know that, and they already know that. And they could be two people. It's either a person that you clearly are thinking about right now, or it's an entity, a spirit, that knows that if you do that, you'll weaken its power in the whole world. So that's the war that we face right now. Just because you think that you're battling everything alone, when you share that information of the battle won, I don't have to battle that. I don't have to fight that fight no more. When I listen to you, I say, oh, this is what I do. Now your demons, all of those heavy demons, have no effect on me if I can get that information and use it properly. It has no effect on me. And you know how powerful that is? That's what they don't want you to learn. They want you to stay right there. So after the Six of Wands, the solar plexus, we have the sacral chakra, your side, and this is the Page of Wands. Now this is offsuit. This is the place of I feel, right? I feel a certain way about this. I feel a certain way about that. Therefore, I won't do this. Until I feel this certain way, I can't move on it. Until this energy is given to me, I won't move on it. Until I give this energy to the situation, it won't move. You know, whichever way it needs to be said, but that's the blockage right here. But it's a willingness, as I said before. You already know what the deal is. Lastly is I am. This is the place of fear, where it starts, where everything starts or ends. Once you have that sense of fear in your soul, in your heart, it's hard to let go, right? So this is represented by the Four of Wands, and this is also offsuit. This is a fire energy in the place of earth. So all that you can create currently will be burned up by what your ego thinks you don't need and what you need. So when your spirit isn't in control, you would throw something away that you built was beautiful. Imagine planting a seed and it's taking forever to grow, and then once you say, okay, I give it up, and then I go this other way, all you needed to do was wait 2 more days. Imagine that, just 2 more days. Imagine how frustrating that is. But that's how close it is. 2 more days. I don't know what it is significant about 2. It takes 2. So next up, I'm going to clarify some of this energy right now. All of the cards that you see that are turned to the right are going to get an extra card, maximum of 3, just to get the ball rolling, you know what I mean? But give me a moment to get that down. When I clarify for the right or correct energy, that's when you'll know. So give me a few moments right about now. So a good amount of stuff went on, but I got a few answers, but I'm going to get down to it. So the first part of this reading is Ayin. So on the tree of life, you have Ayin So 4, right? So Ayin is the first one. We're going to start off with that. And this is the energy going down from the chakras of the crown chakra to the root chakra. And then when we get there, we're going to talk about Soph, which is the energies around everything. So that's, well, actually the domains of everything. The world of creation, the world of emanation, the world of formation, and the world of manifestation. That's fire, air, water, earth. Those 4 domains. We talk about that. And the why, which is the source of everything. So after we get a little bit of that explanation out the way, then we have the last part of the reading, which is Or. So Ein Sof Or, right? It has to do with experimentation, expression, transcendence, or integration, and then transcendence. Basically, the is. So let me do a quick rundown of everything. I know, I be, I want, I need, I will, I desire, I love, I do, I feel, and I am. And then what is this all about? What is all that information about? That's Ein. Soph is who this is all about. The physical world of manifestation, right, is about what this is all about. What are the things around you? When is jealousy? What are the formation? When is this happening? Where is the world of creation, the spirit? Why? Where is this happening, right? Where, okay, when you think about where, is what perspective? That's the where. And why is the root of the situation in the first place? Why did you come down here to live this life in the first place? I believe in reincarnation, and there are reasons we are here. Things that we can do, things that we can choose not to, right? You see the fight, and you can choose not to do it, but many people are here because they choose to do it. So after all of those aspects are explained, then the 21-part circuit is finished, and we end off right where we began with the gift, right? And so let's start it off with the Tower card, 0, the throat chakra, Da'at. And this is represented by the Tower. So sudden upheaval, lost foundations, and disaster. What is it about this information that actually guides you? You are able to eliminate certain things that are what you know and kind of like render it powerless from affecting you. So if you knew a certain amount of things in the past, I said path, right? Where you were going, if you knew a certain amount of things before that were leading you to the wrong path, right? Then with truth, you always acknowledge it. You always acknowledge it. It always takes the place of the BS in the way. So the truth is this. The truth is that. And this is what moves you. This is what gives your imagination that, I almost said a sense of pride, almost gives you that ability to trust your imagination, right? So that's the Tower. That's the information. That's what you know. Your being, who you're going to be at the end of the day, is rooted in the earth energy. So the 3 of Pentacles, let's get it. This is the crown chakra, and let's see this real quick. So teamwork, collaboration, and building something. Now, that's your being. At the end of the day, you will be building something. At the end of the day, something that somebody tried to break will be being built again, right? So it's almost a frustrating energy that you have to deal with. At the end of everything, you will be building something new again. So it's either going to be something beautiful or something that holds you down. Beautiful or something that holds you down. But once you get that thing out the way that holds you down, everything else is beauty, right? Now the teamwork thing is funny. These black cards right here are 10 perspectives in your mind. And that's the team that you are actually within yourself dealing with. Every perspective. I am is its own perspective. I feel it's its own perspective. Going straight up all the way up to the crown chakra, right? So with yourself, that's your team. But when you're thinking outside of yourself, you can see the people around you. Next up is I want. This is your cursor, where you're going, your pointer. I'm going to go here. This is my direction. That kind of thing. And is regarded with the Hierophant energy right now. And that's Hokmah, which is the light energy of the third eye. So this is tradition, conformity, morality, and ethics, right? What is it about that keeps you on that straight and narrow? The tradition of it. You believe in structure and standards and things like that gets things done. So it's almost like you believe in practicality. And it frustrates people because even though you have this weird sense of practicality, what you imagine, what you think up, it just works. And that's also frustrating when somebody tries to get one over on you. Oh, I'm gonna just think of something at the last minute that will render all of those plans obsolete, right? Imagine that. They planned this for months and you just said left turn and that was it. Everything that they planned. That's crazy. And you did it out of your intuition. Or just the fact that this is who you are at the end of the day. You saw a problem coming from a mile away because that's your tower, right? What a tower is your scope of vision from things coming to your center, right? So, or your scope of vision of seeing everything in the distance. The higher your tower is, the more you can see, right? So this has to do with your space too, right? But your information is power. And all of that goes into the tower. That just rhymed. Alright. So next up is Bina, right? This is the dark energy of the third eye. And this is where the first problem was. It started off with the sun. Great card to have. But sometimes things are misleading. It's not purposeful though, because we are human. We make mistakes. We believe that God says this and we do this. And sometimes the devil saying, hee, I got you, bitch, right? Sometimes you never know. Not all things that are in the light are of God, you know. So joy, success, celebration, and positivity. Now this is in the place of what you need. These are fleeting emotions. You gotta do everything just to keep that up, and that's what you believe you need in order to manifest. That's almost like you need clout, or something needs clout in order to manifest. But that's not true. That's crazy. Because you are the magical item. You are the temple. The energy comes from within you to do everything. This is your temple, if you didn't get that already. So the sun is here to light a situation, put light to a situation. But what situation is it lighting up? Like, almost like there's this thing called aggro in games. If I wanted to play you and get my teammate to a whole different side, I'm gonna make all the noise. Look at me. Pay attention to me. While you focusing on me, somebody's going right behind you and they got you. So that's almost like what this is talking about right now. Focus on this, not this. Focus on this. Look at this. This is the main issue. This is the main issue. Don't look at anywhere else. And you got all this focus on this because you're triggered for some reason into only looking in that direction. And it's given tunnel vision, right? So, yeah. Next up was the 7 of Pentacles. So let me get that. This is earth energy. It did not complete, but because this is the side of earth and fire, right? This is the side of water and air. So earth can't be over here. Even though you're patiently waiting and building and planting you still don't have what you need. So let's see. So hard work, perseverance, and diligence, right? Now that's another thing that you think you need. Those are good words to have, right? Oh, I have diligence. I am a hard worker. I have patience, right? I have all of these things. But that's like, if you're doing the wrong things diligently, it's not going to help. You got to focus on what you actually need to do. And like I said, that aggro, that, oh, let me do this, right? You're going to look over here while I get you over there. And it's almost like it's the perfect bait all the time. Like, if it wasn't for those meddling kids, like, like, it's the perfect bait all the time. They get you all the time. Like, you're smart. I promise you're smart. But the devil is also smart too. Know when you have to keep yourself, you have to be aware of some of these things. I would never think that I'm smarter than the devil. Never. That's the moment I lost. That's the moment I lost. Next up is what cleared the energy is the Four of Cups. So it's apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness. Now there's empathy and apathy, right? They're opposites or polar, whichever, mirrored, whichever, right? The parallel, thank you. So empathy is the ability to understand perspective. Apathy is the inability to understand perspective. That's what that is. So if you think you are empathetic or what they call it, oh god, thank you, empath. If you are an empath, empathy is the ability to understand perspective. And this is why people can get over you too, because sometimes people make mistakes or really big mistakes out of ego and not of ignorance. They meant that. And then they also mean the apology. So it's like, you understand that you're empathetic enough to see this, both sides of the coin. But is that being reciprocated when it's time? And that's what takes your energy. The reciprocation. You can do it, but is it given back to you? You have to figure this out, because this is your everything that you're dealing with. So that is in what you need. Next up is the King of Wands in what you will. This is just said on the Tree of Life. So let's get it. So big picture, leader, and overcoming challenges. This is perfect because it's only a matter of time. And it's almost like, you know how in Temporal you got the monkey behind you chasing and they trying to keep up with the path in general, but you already know the whole thing because you are the monkey in that game. And next thing you know, as soon as they take their eye off of what they was going to do, as soon as they look, you right there. You're right on the devil's tail. Devil is actually nervous. And that's the thing. You can learn within your cycle, right? You can learn all the tricks within your cycle. Then there's new levels, new devils, and all that other stuff. But you learn the tricks in your cycle, and next thing you know, you level up. Now they gotta find something gotta be around in order to block you, hinder you, and all that other stuff. But you're getting better, and you will always be sitting in your throne, your power, that kind of thing. They can't knock you off, because who you are at the end of the day is a builder, and then you're a go-getter. So a builder and a go-getter. When isn't there a place you can be safe? Be in those two things. So next up is desire, which is Geburah, and this is the High Priestess, right? Funny thing is, the High Priestess is the energy from Da'at to Kether, right? So that's connecting the information to who you are at the end of the day. And this is the perfect thing in your desire. You desire the power that you already hold. So imagine you have a library in this tower, but you don't know everything in those books. So you've been getting to the books, you've been learning, you've been observing, and that kind of thing. So that's what this energy is in desire right now. But let's see. So inner voice, intuition, divine truth, wisdom, and unconscious. This is the unconscious, this is the conscious, right? Unconscious is the spirit realm, right? So this is why we can't see it. We can't see when spirit is working. But you know the effects of when spirit has worked. So, I heard this grandmother on one of these Facebook videos the other day that said, have you ever sat back and count your blessings? And I completely ran away from that video, but I remembered what she said. So that's crazy. It's almost like God knows a way to get a message to you, even if you don't want to hear the whole message. So even if you weren't patient enough to sit there with the whole lesson, the message was already given, so you don't have to worry about it. Right? Sometimes we can't stomach all of the pain. Really? You can't do it. Sometimes you have to just run away. Out. I'm out. And that's okay. So the next energy that was blocked is Tiferet, which is the heart chakra, and this is your space, right? So it started off with the Hermit card, it ended off with the Tower. And I just realized I messed up because I didn't give 3 cards to it. But let's get it right now. The Hermit card is contemplation, searching for truth, and inner guidance. Now, why isn't this a good card to be having this place of the heart chakra? Contemplation, inner guidance. Okay, this is supposed to be space that you already have. This is supposed to be something that you already learned already. This is supposed to be like, didn't I already get through this? Why am I still here learning this lesson? That's what this is right now. Why am I still here learning this lesson? I did not learn the lesson. I've been through it so many times. What's the point, God? What did I miss? So it's like almost like an aggravation with spirit and God. It's like, yes, you can be aggravated with God. Yes. Doesn't mean that you won't understand why you were aggravated. You always get those answers. I was aggravated because I needed to be in a certain energy in order to understand this perspective. Sometimes you need to be in in pain and darkness in order to understand the greater light, you know, because it's potential. This is all about potential to light. The further you the further you dig into the darkness, the more light you can actually contain. That's the word. So yeah, and went from that to the Tower, back to the Tower. Thank you. This energy right here, back to what you know. So you went back to the drawing board. Okay, what did I miss? And this is that energy of I'm observing everything with that light that says, okay, fine tooth comb, whatever that phrase is. And it went from there to the 6 of Wands, and it finished off and it corrected itself with the 10 of Swords. So 6 of Wands. Oh wow, and the 6 of Wands is right here too. So this energy in your solar plexus doing the thing fixes this issue. So now what's the issue? Victory, success, and public reward. Your recognition for the things you have done. Thank you, because I just said, haven't I already learned the lesson? The recognition is what was missing, but you didn't need to recognize. You didn't need to be recognized from an outward perspective, like, oh, the champion's here, I did it, congratulate me, I know this, or like you don't need to prove yourself. That's what this is. You don't need to prove yourself to anything else, anyone else but yourself. That was the issue. Once you decided to acknowledge yourself for yourself, you were your biggest, fan at that point. And then went from here. Now that you know that, you said, oh, this is what was stopping me. That was the issue. Now I got the power. Now I know what to do. And now everybody's running scared and frantic. Oh, I don't know how to be around this person no more because they got all the keys. You think these are swords. You think this is pain. You think they put you through this. No, they gave you all of those demonic keys, right? These entities, these things that are around us have keys to get inside of us, right? Into these dark places that, okay, they're going to go in here and mess everything up. or they're going to give somebody else the key to you. You know, you say things, you mention things, you feel certain ways about something that they do, and that's keys to your insides, to who you are, right? You're going to do a certain thing because they can get there. They're in that good space with you, right? But when they showed their hand, that's when the plan was gone. They showed their hand. So that's what happened. And this is failure, collapse, and defeat. But that's not you. You defeated the cycle. So this is a champion moment within yourself. Oh, that was the issue. That was the main message with that card. So back to the Six of Wands in the solar plexus. Victory, success, and public reward. Now, the fact that attraction, there's action and attraction. Your spirit is acknowledging you. Therefore, the universe blesses you, right? Your spirit says, hey, universe, look what my other me is doing, right? Look at the other side of me is doing. Look what's happening over here. And the universe says, okay, let me give you a little bit more. Let me give you a little bit more. Let me give you a little bit more. Your success and your recognition could come through random people. Oh, I like your shoes. And you've been waiting for somebody to see your shoes for like, hey, nobody talking about my shoes. Like, y'all see these shoes? Good shoes, right? Damn, shine them up real nice and everything. Damn, can't win. That energy, right? But little things like that. It's the little things that boost you, like get you to the next week. That little comment can get you to the next week. Finally, somebody saw what I did, right? And went from there to I feel, right? This is the energy that's off. Your feelings is off. But this is the place of emotion. What is emotion? Emotion is data and energy consciously reenacted or in action. Data and energy in action. So it's an emotion, right? Energetic motion. The motion is what we're going through right now. We're going through the motion of through the crown, third eye, throat chakra, all the way down to the sacral chakra right now. So we're going through the motion. And when you get to this motion of I feel, you have to understand that everything that you've been through is data. And you put energy towards that because you're triggered. Something that happened in your past, you say, okay, I know this thing and it's in my past, or it's going to block me from my future. And I will do a certain thing regardless if I have control over it or not, because I'm fearful. And we're going to get to fear right now, later in a second. But yeah, so that started off with the Page of Wands. Exploration, excitement, and freedom. You either want to feel free or you lack that sense of freedom. And this sense of being bound, it's almost like you're trapped in the bubble of who you were. So this hermit energy right here that's below this heart area right here, the significance of a hermit is the shell is in a sense your heart, but this is your space right here. As I said before, your shell is the space. So when your heart broken, or when you need a new heart, right? When you need a new place to be, when you need a new idea, I can't even hardly speak. When you need new motivation, right? It requires a new shell, and you have to go searching for it. And then when you find it, there's a period where you're very vulnerable and open to all types of attack because you were willing to get rid of the old shell that kind of protected you but didn't allow you to grow, only to go to a bigger shell for this big growth that's right here. So that's that. And went from there to Judgment reverse, and this cleared the energy. So reflection, reckoning, and awakening. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Lack of self-awareness, self-doubt, and self-hate. Now, this is before you knew the things right now. You were not aware that you were doing the thing to get the recognition. Because you were not getting the recognition, you were beating yourself up. I can't do this. I don't see it. I don't know how it's working. this is not me. That kind of self-talk, that self-depreciating talk. That's what was there. But now that you know the root causes and you got the keys for yourself now, it has no issue. And you can judge and move forward. Now, here is where it's the area of fear. Now, this is Malkut, and this is the root chakra. It started with the Four of Wands, and that's fire in the place of earth. So everything that you can build, everything that you know that you will build, is being burned up by everything that you didn't know. The lack of knowledge, the lack of having the space. Oh, there you go. Everything that you were building for your fantasy. But there's a dream, and then there's a fantasy. Your fantasy is created from consciousness, and that's your ego. Your dream is created from spirit, and that comes straight from source, right? So you can understand which one will give you the better life, right? But if your fantasy matches your dream, that's the only way you can actually know if it's a dream. Like, okay, in this part of my fantasy, I can see the dream, but it's not complete yet. My fantasy won't ever be complete until I fully recognize my dream. So you got to recognize what your dream is. Therefore, your fantasy can align. Has nothing to attach to but what you've been through before. Your fears, your baggage, your doubts, and all these other things that you've been through. It started off with the Four of Wands. Community, home, and celebration, right? You were doing all of these things and you were manifesting for other people's sakes. It's almost like everybody else could benefit of what you were doing. Everybody was getting the recognition of what you was doing. So it's almost like, why should I even do this anymore? When you started to back away, nobody was getting recognition anymore, and they're looking for you. Why are they looking for you? Because they used you as a muse. But sometimes if you don't get paid for being that muse, now it doesn't have to mean money. It's spiritual compensation too. Congratulations, thank you for doing that, you inspired me. That would have been that recognition, but people held that back. So that's payment. You have to understand the spirit. And when you do that, what is a spiritual attack? What is a spiritual attack? Just real quick, what is a spiritual attack? And I'm going to answer the question, and certain people don't understand that. Anything that attacks your spirit, anything. What is your spirit? Yourself, your sense of self. Anything that anybody does that attacks your sense of self is a spiritual attack. Point blank. If you feel like you have to defend yourself or for something that somebody said, that is a spiritual attack. It is not something as mystical as we think it is. It is not magic coming in the air and fireballs going into us or nothing like that. You know how crazy we think. It's not none of that. We are using the power of our voice, and that's our wand. Our tongue is our wand, right? We use that and we do these things. Well, our voice is our wand, not our tongue. It's a difference. So it went from there to the the Six of Cups reversed. Moving forward, leaving home, and independence. Now, this is pouring those cups out. I don't need that anymore. So you can't rope me back into the same cycle. I beat that cycle. I apologize, but there's something that's not going to hold me back anymore kind of energy. That's the energy that you're leading with now. I don't need it. Whatever you're trying to pour into me, okay. These cups right here, I've always looked at it and it always looked double-sided. So when you turn it up, you can pour something in it, but the only thing that can go in it is of a spiritual origin. So I haven't really gotten that thought quite formulated out, but I hope you understand what I mean. Oh, the energy doesn't fall up in this round. Only the spirit can do that. So yeah. Next up was temperance. And this remember, the energy doesn't fall up. And that's crazy. It looked like this water's doing something mystical already. So falling upwards, seeing from that different perspective, allowing it to run its course, and not taking part, it seems, right? So let's see. And temperance is this energy from your Tiferet to your side, right? So this is the place of passion. There's action and then there's passion. Passion builds the inner you, action builds the outer you, right? Temperance. So, middle path, patience, finding meaning. Remember these keys that you got right here? You found the root causes, but the meaning comes from the dream. And from what you needed was to wait on that blessing, wait on that energy. There's an energy tag on everything. Energy speaks louder than words. And actions. I think energy speaks louder than actions. Right? Take it how it resonates. So after that, we ended off in the Page of Cups. It did not clear the energy. There was no earth here that came up. So this means every time I put an extra card, that means there's more time before this can be situated. But it's not going to be situated yet. But the thing is, you'll have your own cup. You'll be filling your own cup and drinking from your own harvest. This kind of thing. That's the kind of thing going on right here. You're only worried about what you can bring to the table for yourself right now, because of these attacks that put you in a sense of deep hate, right? For yourself, because you weren't getting recognized for it. Now, you're taking your own recognition. You're keeping your victories to yourself. If you keep your victories to yourself, nobody can hate you. Nobody even know. Unless it's like a close friend that knew, like, oh, what you doing? Just nosy. They gonna know. They gonna hype you up too. So for the people who you know that can keep your ambitions safe, meaning like you can say anything to them and it will not stop you from going in your path, because they won't say anything to you that will knock you off of it. They will be saying some harsh things, but it will only keep you in more on the straight and narrow. And that's a true friend. It's not always pretty. It hurts. Right? So, Page of Cups. Happy surprise, dreamer, and sensitivity. Now, I just mentioned the dream, and it said dreamer, right? You're manifesting this sense of the dream. You're starting to understand, because you understand what blocked you, and you understand why your fantasy is why you wanted what you wanted, right? You understand that now. So because you understand that, your dreams are coming back. Your consciousness is not out of whack anymore. You're not so jealous of the next person getting that recognition anymore, because you are starting to recognize yourself. And it don't matter what anybody can do for you. If you can do it for yourself, it's greater, because they can't stop and leave you stranded. Doesn't matter. You got yourself. You see that? That's what people like to do. They like to get in there and be so good for you in a certain place, which is actually divinely ordained, but it's mismanaged. And now look where we are, right? So that was Ayin. And the next part of the reading is Soph, where we understand who this is all about, what this is all about, when is it happening, where is it happening, and why it's happening, right? So let's start off with who in the world of emanation, which is your imagination, the place of fire, the domain of fire, right? So we have growth, and it's a time of evolution, and growth is here. You may be leaving behind outdated and antiquated relationships, mentors, belief systems, situations, or environments. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, this card calls for a deeper commitment or decision to let go in order to honor your journey. This card represents knowing that all will be well and for the highest good. Right? So sometimes growth is painful. As I said before, you had that small shell being the hermit crab, and you are so big out of the shell, you looking disformed. Like, why don't you just go to a new shower? You fit for it now. You can do it. Like, you clearly can do it. Why don't you just go there? It's nerve-wracking. It gives you anxiety. That's why. But certain people don't understand this. That level of that blockage that you almost can't even see. It's frustrating, but it's not as hard as it seems. When I say they, it's anything. Any person, any energy, any entity. They don't want you to see that it's easy, that you can. Once you know that you can, it's over. You will. You will. King of Wands. That's who. That's who it has to do with. So your growth is what it has to do with, or the growth of another person, being able to understand it, that empathy rather than apathy. And that's what the message is giving me there. So what is in the world of manifestation? That's your physical world. And this has to do with meditation. So let's get it real quick. Drawing this card asks you to create more stillness in your life. Utilize meditation, breathwork, and other gentle activities to relieve stress and bring more peace into your entire being. You may need a break from daily duties for clarity. Your current situation may be distracting you, so more quiet time and less attachment are required. Meditate on this symbol or practice this mudra to feel a universal connection within every cell of your body. Right? So I find it harder to meditate doing that rather than dancing. That's my meditation. I would just be dancing with no music and a song in my head, and I would just have to play a song and dance so I can stop. My body wanted to relieve some stress. It's just what it was, what it is. I have that's like a nervous tick. Oh, I'm gonna start dancing now. Like, it's just time. There's certain things that you just do, and you'll find yourself. I recently found it called doom scrolling, right? Just going and going and going and going and going. That's probably something that you need just to get your mind off of what happened earlier in the day, or just the accumulation of events over the past months and years. It's just something that you need to do just to balance the energy. But whatever form of meditation that you can find that works for you is what you can master. It don't have to be just that little basic thing. You can literally plan it. Like, every week I'll go somewhere where I can move my body. Every week I'll go somewhere when I can speak my mind. It's everything, right? So when is represented by jealousy, and this is in the mind. This is about deliberation. What you're gonna do with the facts. So let's get that. So envy, jealousy, and bad vibes. This card comes as a warning that all is not as it seems, or maybe it is. There may be some jealousy being represented or projected to you at this time. Fear not. This warning is here to provide you with enough distance to take the necessary action and protect your heart, mind, and energy. Or perhaps the good old compare and despair monster has got you wishing or longing for what another has or is doing. Sometimes jealousy is within you. This is a powerful time to check in and see where you may be feeling inadequate. Okay, so jealousy is also a cursor, because as I said before, your path is here. But this is everything that leads you off your path, because this is your mind and you have to control that. So, for a guy, simple example, you just need to walk down the street, get from point A to point B. But you walk down and you see big booty Judy, and next thing you know, there's a point C that just arrives, and next thing you know, I go A, C, B, A, C, B, A, B, A, C, A, C. And it's just like, that's what happens. Next thing you know, my focus is off. Simple example. Right? Simple. But it's so many things that can do the same thing. It can be a post that leads you down a rabbit hole. Not all rabbit holes are there for you to waste your time on. Sometimes you know everything you need to know right now. Going down a rabbit hole is just wasting time, but also building potential. So keep building the potential. One day it's just gonna burst. That's what potential is, right? And as crazy as that sounded, That's what it actually is. We have to understand that this is spiritual alchemy. It's not just energy in motion, it's alchemy. We're moving this energy along. And if you understand where this is going, like the video, share it with your favorite reader, that kind of thing. Leave a message. Put a message in the comments. I would like to see where your mind is, how you think, or how this can help you better. What made you feel good, that kind of thing. Some input. Positive. Yeah. So that's jealousy. Next up is where, and that is always in the spirit. Yourself, that's where. You're rooted in self, in the spirit. That's where everything lies, right? It's up to you. That kind of thing, but it's almost like, it's a little different. But this is fire in the area of spirit. Now, this is not a good energy to have here. Why? Let's get it. This is spirit, and that's water, and that's clearly fire. Yeah, I didn't actually know what to say about this part, but yeah, let's see. Light, creativity, drive, purity, passion, and new opportunities. The element of fire can free you from boredom, clear karma, and give you the energy required to take an action. Be warned though. There we go. Too much fire can also burn, so be mindful of utilizing this energy wisely by channeling it creatively. I don't even know what I just said. Meditate on the symbol with the assistance of a candle to inspire creativity, motivation, and passion. So, not that you're afraid of what your spirit can do for you, you're relying on what you can do for yourself too much. And that's causing a sense of burden on time with you, because coincidence is the hand of God, and spirit works with that, putting that into like your path. Spirit says, okay, I have enough power, if you can understand it, power to manifest this $100 bill that you just found on the floor, right? I have enough power to do that now. Somebody is gonna have 1,000 hundreds, and one is gonna drop for you. That's one who could drop for you, right? Or two, you never know. Give me 3, but it's neither here nor there. But that's relying on chance and coincidence. Like I said, the hand of God, right? And when you do that, how Pokemon had rare candies? You just went through the grass and found something, and next thing you know, you at a different level. You leveled up. Like, all I did was eat this piece of candy, and it was sweet. And I leveled up. Oh, that's easy. Thank you, God. I appreciate it. I can get through this quicker. Oh, now this isn't so much of a hassle anymore. I was just sitting here. I went to sleep, woke up, and I just had the answer. Oh, I could do this. Oh, that's light. Or you didn't even know you had the answer. You just got up and did it. Like, oh, this is so annoying. And next thing you know, that was the whole answer. Sometimes, yeah, the trial is in what you're doing. To better explain this, if you were going to be a swordsman, I would probably be seeing you outside swinging a sword every day in the park somewhere, right? Just swinging at that sword, swinging at that sword, swinging at that sword. I would never contest you swinging a sword at you. I would never, right? I would never, right? You got it, right? Not him. That person been there the whole time. But where is your training? Where does your training lie? Because that's your whole fight. It's training. What is it training you for? You have the ability to do something because you know and you've been through a certain amount of things. What can you do? And I always like to tell people, if you can find a way to help with what you know and what you can do easily, you're saving somebody time. As I said before, that analogy. I've been through something rough, and then I share it with one of my friends. Now they don't have to go through that same rough patch that I went through because I gave them the keys, right? 10 of Swords, I gave them the keys. So it works the same way. How can you give these keys out for some compensation? God will make it work. But it doesn't have to do always with something spiritual. It can do with something physical too, you know? What are you gifted at? So next up is why. This answer, everybody wants to know why. So let's just get it. The reason why is the truth. Why you came here in the first place is the truth. The truth of the matter is, I have a very different way to understand what heaven is. But I'll share it. Alright? Heaven is perfection. And the best way, well, what gave me this epiphany was The Good Place on Netflix. Epic understanding of how everything works. And I nerd out on things. I geek out on some things. And when I understood that, my mind went over everywhere, right? Heaven is a place of perfection, as you can all guess, right? But, you know, then when I started to study, heaven and hell is in the mind. So if you are at peace, you're in your heaven. So it goes both ways. Heaven in heaven or heaven on earth, right? So that's a place of perfection. How long do you think you can stay there? Think about it. How long do you think you can stay anywhere perfect? Just count 300 years. In a perfect place for 300 years? Where's the danger? I'm going straight to the danger. There's nothing to do here. There's nothing to learn. So, yeah, I don't want to know anything. I'm just going to go here. And I don't know that I don't know anything. I don't know that I'm protected. Which is what we are now. We don't know that we're protected. We came here to just get away from that all. Like, crazy weird way that God gave me that. Like, that's the way I was thinking about it. And then I had like this honor and beauty for life, because I said, okay, regardless of whatever I can conjure up that I'm thinking that life is, it's a beautiful time that I can do anything that I want with. Nobody can stop me unless I give them the power to stop me. Those are the facts. And then on top of that, there's some kind of weird coincidence that gets us all here. And then also on top of that, we're all connected. It goes on and on and on and on and on. However you feel is for you. You know, that's the way I feel. But if it helps you, that perspective, if it helped you a little bit to get over that fear, then, you know, there you go. But that's the truth. If that little story helped you, then I can move on. Next up in this series of the reading is the ifs. So I gave you basically who, what, when, where, why. I am, I be, I want, I need, I will, I desire, I love, I do, I feel, and I am. I gave you all of that information, every piece of you, right? Now, what can you do with that? Here's where ifs come in. When you come into math and any kind of function. If I do blank, 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 then blank, blank, blank. The effects of it, right? So we're going to get into that. And this is or. This is where you can get the sense of doing the mechanical thing. Everything else was kind of conjecture. But right now, we're going to get to some facts of how. How. This answers how. So first up in the line of how is experimentation. Too many. Death and experimentation. That card comes out every other time I do a reading. Air and expression of the air. Affluence. This is integration. Past life and transcendence, which is, that fits. Oh. And new life at the gift. So let's get what that means really quickly. Wow. Past life and new life. Crazy. This is the place we began, right? With the Tower card, what you know, and what you end off is what your gift is, right? And this is the new life. But let's get what you can do, how you can get it done. First up is experimentation in the area of the root, right? Earth energy. You can experiment with death. What does that mean? So, the noticeable end of a cycle or situation, grieving or mourning a loss in order to heal. It is time to watch the old way leave itself in the past. Allow feelings of grief or sadness to move through you with ease. Meditate on this when you want to honor an ending or loss, or let go in your life with grace. Oh God, grace and dignity. Experiment with grace and dignity. I just spoke about this. Grace and dignity. What is dignity, right? Let's just say you can point out somebody's wrong, right? If you keep their pride intact, that's dignity. They can keep their dignity. Opposite of pride is dignity. Well, opposite of a shattered pride in this example is having your dignity in the situation moving forward, right? Okay, there's ways you can go about it to protect both parties. But as I said in my last reading, the universe responds to what you do. So if you can do something negative and you choose to do something positive, there is a potential that was there, right? There was a potential of something negative that was very great. And you said, I'm going to give that to your universe, right? And the universe says, I'm going to give that straight to your spirit. And your spirit says, I'm going to manifest something for you right now. And once you see it, you'll understand the blessing and the gift. And this takes time. And this is the reason why we can't see God work. Because we not seeing our blessings in order. It's not coming to us every day in a place in a way that we can actually comprehend it. So this is why you have to count your blessings. Just like that grandma said. Alright, next up is expression, which is the air. Let's get it real quick. So you can express. See, expression is emoting, right? It's giving off that energy of form, having it handled. Logic, critical thinking, facts, information, research, and reasoning are required at this time. You may also need more information before proceeding. All your information comes from that tower that's over here, so you got the information. You just need to read the book, you know what I mean? You got the book, you just need to read it, alright? Drawing this card asks you to call on the element of air to help you find healthy resolutions. I just mentioned it. Healthy resolutions. Meditate with this symbol to call on more of the air element in your life. Enhance logical thought and inspire new ideas. Use instance channel writing and journaling to enhance the power of this element. Now, funny thing about writing, we use words, and words are of spelling, which means that you use our wand, which is your tongue or your inner voice to outer voice, right? To cast spells, right? So, when you are using your writing, it's another casting, but it's notes, and it's actually building. Regardless, if you can rewrite something 10 times, you'll understand it more that 10th time, even if you thought you knew it the first time. It just is. It's just more powerful, right? So, journaling allows you to put that thought on a piece of paper. Now you don't have to think about it. So, that's why people journal. Like, on some of the hard things that they went through in their life, when you write it down, it's almost like, I got it right here. I don't have to have it in my mind anymore. I wrote it down, put it in the book, put it away. It doesn't bother me anymore. I learned what I learned from it. I probably wrote, this is why this happened. I remember this now. When you do that, you get recollection. And the recollection comes through coincidence of the fact that you're even doing it. And at the same time you say, coincidence. That's God speaking to you. But we don't see God. We only... God is so hidden and everywhere at the same time. And that gotta be frustrating too. That gotta be frustrating. Y'all don't see me? Y'all don't see me? Damn near smacking us in the face. And we be like... Is that wind? This wind is crazy. Next up is affluence, and this is integration. Now, integration is basically your patterns. These are the order of patterns, if I can do it correctly. First, you have your thoughts. Then you have your words. Then you have your actions. Then you have your habits. And then you have values, which are basically pieces of you. They become pieces of you, right? So that's the order of it. So understand that that's where your solar plexus takes the light. What are you doing? How are you doing it? And how is it getting done? And you'll know the effects of it because, well, if you're observing it, it comes natural. Let's see affluence. Also, this looks like a pinnacle. So this 3 of Pentacles right here, your being is being reflected right now in affluence. Wealth in all forms is available to you now. You are rich on all accounts. Drawing this card invites you to feel the abundant flow of having all that you need on the elemental and spiritual planes. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, this certainly indicates that there is much to be experienced here. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You are being provided for and rewarded at this time. So this reward is bringing out that recognition I spoke of before. That recognition is all you really needed. Like, your good job. Something as easy as that. Good job. I saw that. And that's opposite ignorance. So people who abide, their humble abode is in ignorance. They will not see you because you are walking in truth. It's opposite of ignorance. It's just what it is. So next up is transcendence, which is in past life. So past life, new life. Let's get past life real quick. You are being drawn to sacred spaces, ancient knowledge, past lives, ancient wisdom, and holy gifts. These spaces where this meditation can happen, that kind of thing. And meditation can be in studying too. If you find out something about yourself, something cool, that's meditation too. Like, all of it. Anything that leaves you in a sense of peace, stillness, but just like high spiritual activity. Yeah, spiritual activity, because if it's conscious, you're speaking, you're thinking too hard, The connection to your current relationship or situation has deep roots and is perhaps much more than you have anticipated. Dive into ancient wisdom for your answers at this time. Drawing this card can indicate past life connection, karmic contracts, vows, commitments, or even feelings of atonement. You can meditate with the pyramid to access ancient magic. Okay. So it's kind of self-explanatory after that. But the part that got me to think was contracts. This desire is a place of contracts. Will is a place of extracts because it's coming out of you, right? It's going into you, coming out of you. But in a sense of what you're contracted to. If you're contracted to anything else before who you are, before what you need to do for yourself, you are getting the last bits. You getting last Larry. And that ain't never good. Last Larry in some cases is crazy. Yeah. And another thing about past life is information's been floating around again. Epigenetic memory in DNA. Basically, you have 15 plus levels of ancestry in your DNA right now. So up your tree of life or down your tree of life, 15 generations, you have information of everything that everybody went through. it's crazy because some people wake up feeling like they gotta battle the world, and the world is in you, the universe is in you, right? You are the universe, so you're battling. And I have a weird way of thinking about this, because we keep coming back here, to learn and to experience things like that. But what's the mission? Balance and love, right? That's, in my opinion, that's the mission. And it seems like it's eternally fun, because as much as I hated some of this time down here, I'm coming back. I don't know. So, last but not least in this cycle of the reading, the 21st card is New Life. And this has to do with, well, obviously past life and new life. When you attract that past life information, it runs both ways. It runs in the way of pain and prosperity. So anybody in your past life, you're a tree who has dealt with a problem. In a sense, you can meditate and get that answer out, because they're here for us, right? Giving you a sense of new life. The arrival of new beginnings, or the budding start of something beautiful and long-lasting. Drawing this card can indicate a need or desire to start over with a sense of childlike wonder. What you are beginning will have a strong impact and far reach. Drawing this card can indicate positive relationship and or experience. So, I'm going to just say, for lack of a better word, the butterfly effect. When you get those butterflies, your life changes immediately. And it's almost like everything that you've been through is almost like you can go back in the past and relive a whole life that you wished and dreamed. That's what knowledge does for you. That's what the information your ancestors give you. You don't have to live the same life that they lived before, because they have the keys, they have the answers. They've been fighting these demons. They did it already. They've done it many times. You probably are one of these ancestors. Like, yeah. But it can go many routes. But all in all, this was the reading. I hope you have a different perspective on what you're going through right now, because that's my goal. If you can see differently, then you can operate differently. Therefore, the devil has to create a whole new plan to try to stop you. That he gonna stop, never gonna try to stop. But the better you get, the more perspective you have, the better you can prosper. So, if you like this reading, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your favorite reader. Leave a comment in the description box, leave a comment in the comment section. And I'm also about to do the whole zodiac right now, so be prepared for that. Whatever your sign is, I have different perspectives. You have gifts, and I figure them all out for every sign. So wait out for that. Well, not wait out for that. Be patient for that. When you see it, click it. With all that said and done, I'm KyFy. Peace.